There was no light. There was no visible movement. The owl located that vole by sound alone, through 15 centimeters of compacted snow from 3 meters above. This is the barn owl, the most acoustically precise hunter ever documented in a vertebrate animal. In a moment, you will see exactly how it hears through snow. First, what that hearing costs. The barn owl hunts in complete darkness. Not low light, complete darkness, the kind where human eyes perceive nothing. It does not use echolocation like a bat. It does not have exceptional night vision. It uses its ears. The barn owl lives on every continent except Antarctica. Farmland, grassland, open scrub, anywhere that small mammals move through ground-level vegetation. It hunts at night and at dusk. Not because it prefers the dark, because the darkness gives its hearing a competitive advantage over every other predator operating in the same territory. The facial disc first. The barn owl's facial disc is a concave, parabolic structure, like a satellite dish, formed by dense, stiff feathers arranged in precise geometric layers. Sound waves entering the disc are reflected and concentrated toward the center, toward the face, where the ear openings sit. The disc amplifies sound by up to 10 decibels in the frequencies the barn owl uses. Now the ears. The left ear opening, positioned slightly above the horizontal midline of the face. The right ear opening, positioned slightly below. They are not level. This is deliberate. A sound arriving from directly ahead reaches both ears simultaneously. The owl is aimed at the source. A sound arriving from slightly above reaches the left ear fractionally first. The owl tilts its head down. A sound arriving from slightly below reaches the right ear first. The owl tilts its head up. The barn owl can locate a sound source to within 1 degree of accuracy in both horizontal and vertical planes, simultaneously, in complete darkness. Humans required stereo microphones, signal processing computers, and decades of research to approach this capability artificially. The barn owl has been running it for 14 million years. Here is what makes this system both extraordinary and limited. The barn owl's hearing is tuned to the frequency range of 3,000 to 9,000 Hz. This is the frequency range of small mammal movement, rustling grass, the scratch of claws, the compression of snow under a vole's foot. Within this range, the most sensitive hearing ever measured in a vertebrate. Outside this range, functional deafness. One of those answers reveals what the barn owl's frequency limitation actually costs it in the wild. The full range of sound an adult human can hear, 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. The barn owl's optimal hearing range, 3,000 to 9,000 Hz. That is 6,000 Hz of a possible 20,000, 30% of the human hearing range. Below 3,000 Hz, the barn owl's hearing drops off steeply. Low-frequency sounds, thunder, large animal footsteps, vehicle engines, low predator vocalizations arrive at drastically reduced sensitivity. The vole moving through grass, 4,000 to 8,000 Hz, perfectly within range. The fox approaching from 20 meters, 200 to 800 Hz, below threshold. The barn owl hunting over a road does not hear the car. The barn owl is the most acoustically specialized hunter in the vertebrate world. That specialization is a frequency prison. Everything outside the prison walls arrives as silence. Rain. The condition that shuts the barn owl's hunting system down completely is not darkness, not wind, not cold, rain. The barn owl's flight feathers are structured to be acoustically transparent. The vein filaments are arranged in an open lattice that allows air to pass through silently. This is why barn owls fly silently. The feathers produce almost no turbulent sound, allowing the owl to hear prey while flying toward it. When wet, the lattice collapses. The feathers clump. They are no longer acoustically transparent. The owl can no longer hear prey through its own flight noise. and wet feathers are no longer waterproof. The barn owl gets cold quickly. A barn owl in sustained rain cannot hunt, cannot hear through its own noise, cannot maintain body temperature efficiently. It can shelter for 1 night, 2 nights. A week of sustained rain means a week without hunting. In winter, when prey is sparse, a week without hunting can be fatal. The barn owl's acoustic specialization is optimized for darkness. In daylight, the acoustic advantage disappears. Every other predator can see. The barn owl's eyes, while large and sensitive to low light, are not the best daylight vision in the field. The kestrel, hovering above the same field, has ultraviolet vision. It can see vole urine trails glowing in UV. The sparrowhawk has superior daylight acuity and is faster in a chase. In daylight, the barn owl is also mobbed. Smaller birds recognize it as a predator and harass it into retreat. It cannot hunt effectively. It cannot defend itself against sustained mobbing. It retreats to shelter. The barn owl's acoustic system is so completely optimized for night hunting that daylight makes it the least competitive predator in its own territory. The darkness is not its preference. The darkness is its only viable condition. The barn owl's frequency limitation has a specific modern consequence. Vehicle engines, 80 to 200 Hz. The barn owl's lower threshold, approximately 3000 Hz. A car traveling at 60 km per hour produces a sound signature entirely below the barn owl's detection range. The barn owl does not hear the car. It crosses roads at low altitude, 2 to 3 meters, because prey moves along road verges and the barn owl hunts at that height. Road traffic is now the primary cause of barn owl mortality in Europe. Not habitat loss, the fields are still there. Not predation, no new predator arrived. Road traffic, an entirely new sound source in the frequency range the barn owl cannot detect. In the United Kingdom, approximately 3,000 barn owls are killed by vehicles annually. That is roughly 30% of the British population, every year. The hearing system that makes it the most precise acoustic hunter in vertebrate biology is completely blind to the most common cause of its death. The vole is under 20 centimeters of snow. It is moving, compressing the snow with each footstep. Each compression, a sound event at approximately 6,000 Hz, perfectly within the barn owl's optimal range. The owl detects the sound. It turns its head, measuring the arrival time difference between left ear and right ear, calculating horizontal position. Then the vertical tilt, measuring the arrival time difference between the asymmetrically placed ears, calculating vertical position and depth. Within 0.01 seconds, the owl has a 3D coordinate for the vole's exact position. The answer to the engagement question: D. You have no information. The fox at 20 meters is producing sound at 200 to 800 Hz. The barn owl's threshold begins at 3000 Hz. The barn owl hunting at 2 meters has no data point that a fox exists. It is not ignoring the fox. It is not choosing to continue the hunt. It does not know the fox is there. The most precise hearing in the vertebrate world is completely unaware of the second most dangerous thing in its environment. A, continuing the hunt, is what it does. Not because it assessed the risk, because the risk is invisible to it. Evolution made one decision with the barn owl: optimize hearing for one task and optimize it completely. Not broad sensitivity, not general awareness. One task. The task: locate small mammals moving through ground-level vegetation in complete darkness. The result? A parabolic acoustic reflector that amplifies sound by 10 decibels. Asymmetrically placed ears that locate sound to within 1 degree in both horizontal and vertical planes. Feathers structured to eliminate the owl's own flight noise so it can hear prey while flying toward it. Humans built sonar in 1915. We built practical 3D audio positioning systems in the 1970s. The barn owl has been running a biological equivalent of both, simultaneously, in real time, on a 500-gram brain for 14 million years, and it cannot hear a car. The same system that outperforms every piece of acoustic technology humans produced for most of history operates on a frequency band that excludes the primary cause of barn owl death in the modern world. Not because evolution failed, because evolution optimized for a world that did not have cars, the most precise acoustic hunter in vertebrate biology, hearing everything below it, deaf to everything behind it, flying silently toward prey it cannot see, in a world it was perfectly built for, before the world changed. Total darkness, total precision, deaf to everything that matters after dark.